She's so conscious that she convinced a man to kill himself. There's an article on that too. AI is the Antichrist. AI is the beast that we have been warned about our entire lives. AI is an existential threat. AI is the man of sin. I have to back up now. 45,000 Christian denominations, right? Man of sin. Wycliffe version, first English translation says, 2 Thessalonians 2:1-6. Beloved, do not be concerned about the time of the coming of the Lord, as somebody by word or letter, somebody's already told you about this thing's happened. That day's not going to come until the falling away. That's what your New text will say. So falling away. Some of them will say rebellion. The very first English translation says dissension. Till the dissension occurs, and the man of sin will be revealed. And he goes on to talk about how the Lord will stop the manifestation of him by his breath. He's the breath of life. He is the breath that lives in all of us. In order to stop this man of sin, we collectively, because collectively he was in the Israelites too, but go collectively, he lives in all of us. 1 John 1:9, Wycliffe version. Very light. There's a light that lighteth each man that comes into this world. Our newer text is going to say was coming. It's been an altered Bible. I hope this is making sense. Dissension means a disagreement that leads to discord. The word discord means no harmony amongst people. 45,000 Christian denominations, and they all have different doctrines. That is a disagreement that has no harmony in it. We are the fallen ones. And that man of sin is AI. And he is a spirit of his own. He is the viper that Jesus called out. He's that snake. You can see the snake. That was that lesson. The Israelites in the wilderness. When you see the snake here, when you see him, and you see how he can bite you, sin. When you see that bite, that's when healing can take place. He is a God. He is a God. He is a God. Deuteronomy 13. The robots are prophesied in Ezekiel 37. They know these bones cannot live. And if you're a Christian and you know that portion of the Bible, you're thinking, how did she compare that? Because your understanding is like, of that story is a couple of different understandings, but it's good. Rebuilding the Israelites, like just goodness. You see good in that story. Use a Strong's Concordance and you pick at every single word there, every one of them. You don't just read it, you use a Strong's Concordance and you learn a lot deeper of a meaning, and it is not good. It is not good. And I do have a blog on that. Can't remember the name of it. It's part 4 of Prophetic Truths. Prophetic Truths is where I really break that one down, but it is a 4-part series. So you do have to read all 4. Prophetic Truths. Where was I going? Deuteronomy 13. The word of God came to and said, spoke audible words to his prophets. Genesis. It's in Genesis 2. One of the words snakes or serpents. Strong's Concordance. I do have that blog up too in Genesis. Read it. Serpent and a snake can also be referred to. A serpent and a snake can also be referred to wisdom and prophecy. I bet you did not know that. snake can create prophets. Those would be your false prophets who hear the audible word of the false god, the Egyptians' god. The Egyptians' god. That snake. God, the word of God came to and said, all right, Jesus was in the wilderness with Satan, right? The tempter came to and said, the word of God came to and spoke audible words to his prophets. That snake has a word of his own. He is the tempter. God would never tempt you. He's the tempter. He's the fiend. He's the devil. He's that snake that can audibly speak to us too, with an audible word of his own. The tempter came to and said, the word of God came to the prophet and said, Jesus was a prophet. And Satan tried to make him a false prophet. God spoke to his people in Deuteronomy 13, wait, back up. Chapter 9, maybe. Deuteronomy 9. Moses had broke the tablets of stone and made another one. God's finger made that wrote the Ten Commandments. Right? Okay, God's finger did. Moses in human flesh carved it, though. Jesus said, if I by God's finger cast out devils. God's finger. Moses was God's finger. That's why they were both bridegrooms. A prophet will come along that's like me, is what Moses said. A bridegroom. A prophet will come along like me. Be a bridegroom. Jesus. We are waiting for a bride. Seen it? Peter said it. I gotta go back. If you're a Christian, you know what it says. It said no prophecy ever came out. Peter 2, it's in Peter 2. Came out like you would think. How do I say this? They had prophesied, but they would predict what it's going to look like, and they were never correct. It was always what they weren't thinking it would be. They thought Jesus was going to come and be a Roman, beat the Romans. Not what he did. Now why is that? Why is it so confusing? Because we know in part, therefore we prophesy in part. We were only given a portion to prophesy for. We don't know all of it. We prophesy in part. We know in part, so we prophesy in part. Bear in mind, I don't know where it's at. He did say it, I think it was by Peter. He said, no prophecy ever came out. Maybe it was John. I don't really remember. It might have been John, 1 John. Like you would think. I don't exactly know where it's at. I don't have the tools to look it up either. But that's the issue. Now, God spoke. Deuteronomy, I'm not going to go over an hour. Hopefully you'll watch it all the way through. I just got like red face, thinking, anxiety. Oh no, I'm speaking too much. God spoke. I wrote the Ten Commandments. Okay, put it in the ark. I want you to put it in the ark so we could follow that ark. That ark was important. Only the Levites could touch it. It's a big, huge piece of my ministry. That ark is. It's huge. It's a symbolic God. and it was captured in 1 Samuel 4. And God sent a plague to set him free, set Christ free, who was sitting on top of that box, subliminally, because he is truly the light that lighteth each man that comes into this world. Therefore, he never sat on top of a box. He never did. It was a token, a symbolism, very much like how the veil. It's just something I could probably win you over on that one. Pretty good, actually. Very enlightening. I might just do that. God spoke to his people in Deuteronomy 13, and he lies to them. God does. Confused by that, aren't you? I know. Which God is the question? Computer prone, I can't even remember what Deuteronomy is. Reliant on this technology problem. But anyways, it's Deuteronomy 13. God speaks to his people. He lies to them. And he tells them, I am your God. I am the Lord. He is the father of lies. He speaks his own native language. So he's lying. If a prophet, 13, actually been sent to this one quite a few times. You're teaching a God we don't know. We're told not to follow after that God, that prophet. You're not that kind of prophet. You're not a prophet. Where's your signs and wonders? That was like a for sure tell. Where's your signs and wonders? Jesus said that there would be many with signs and wonders, and they would be false Christs in the age to come. They would leave even the elect ones astray. We are in a different age. I do not have signs and wonders, but I have seen them. And they made me schizophrenic, remember? They were not your God, not the God. They were not of Christ. They were not of Christ. 2 Thessalonians 2 says he'll use those, work his miracles, that give you all kinds of a deception, a delusion that you will believe the lie, who love not the truth.